Articulate Quizmaker 09 is a great quizzing and survey tool, but one of the things I really like to use it for is what I call coursels or course morsels. They're like little mini bite-sized courses. In this case, I use it to build out a scenario. So I'm not even really concerned about grading a quiz and the scoring and all of that. I just want to use the functionality and the features that Quizmaker is going to give me to quickly build out a scenario. So here's a real simple one. It's really just one part of a scenario. So the setup here is there's Jim. He's a new manager. And then Jim is assigned a project, and he's going to go from the project and meet his new team, and then he has to assign somebody from his new team to the project. So what we're going to do is he's going to meet his team here. And as he meets his team, they both have some pros and cons. So you have the veteran who's really experienced, but he could potentially be a thorn in Jim's side. Then there's Susan. She's a superstar, works really hard, but she has some pros and cons. And then there's the new person, Alex, and he has some pros and cons. And so he meets his team here, and now at this point he's going to interview them. So all of this animation and everything is built in Quizmaker, and it's pretty easy. It's as simple as working in PowerPoint. And then Dave goes through some information, and then Susan goes through some information, and then Alex goes through it. And if you wanted to, you could have text come up on the screen or things like that to give some better visual cues. And then after that, he has to make a choice on who's going to be the best choice for his team or for this particular project. And so this is really just a multiple choice question that I broke apart and then made it look the way it looks here. And so you can choose either one of them, and then I'll choose Alex, and I hit submit, and then that branches to feedback for Alex. And in this case, there's some pros and there's some cons to choosing him. And that would be the case for either of the other choices. And then you can click next, and then you go, you can continue your story based on the choice that he made. So let me show you how I built that. So we're in Quizmaker right here. Let me shut this down. So we're in Quizmaker right here, and here's the actual quiz. And again, I'm not concerned about Quizmaker as a quizzing tool here. I'm just using Quizmaker because it's an easy authoring tool and it allows me to do the branching. So I've got a blank slide, which you can just add right up here. So I've got a series of blank slides, and that's where I introduce the content. And you can see right here. And then I get to the multiple choice question. And then from the multiple choice question, there's 3 choices, and then I can branch the learner to either one of these choices. And from there, so for example, if I chose Alex, that's going to take me to here. And then from Alex, I could set that up to then branch to other slides. So that's how I would build out my scenarios. It's really easy. Let me show you how that looks with the multiple choice question. So I'm going to click on the multiple choice question. That's going to open it up. And in Quizmaker, you have 2 options. You have a form view or you have a slide view. And form view just lets you add your information. In this case, it's a multiple choice question. I've got my 3 choices. And then I can set up my branching. So for example, for Dave, I'm going to click more. And I don't need to put any feedback in here because I want to go straight to the slide it's branching to. And then let me move this up so it shows up. So for Dave, I'm going to branch to slide 8, which is right here, is the feedback for Dave. I could go to slide 9 or 10 or wherever I want to. And then you can see right here that my branching is set. Let me show you what slide view looks like. So in slide view, what you have is something that, if I turn off the timeline here, something that basically just looks like a PowerPoint slide. And then you can take your objects and move them around anywhere you want to. And you have some animation controls, and there's some formatting. So if you want to add some colors and shapes, so in this case I added the drop shadows. You can see here there's some picture effects, so I added the drop shadows on the characters. But you can animate up here. You've got some animation controls. You've got a timeline to control the timing. And so you can create some really dynamic scenarios using Quizmaker just because it gives you a rapid authoring environment, and you don't have to use it for quizzing or surveys.